Hello, everyone. We're so happy you're joining us to practice English today. I'm Erica.
And I'm Marco. Thanks for dedicating your time to improving your English with us. Our goal is to help you learn authentic, natural English through real conversations. We want to make learning enjoyable, useful, and simple to follow.
Absolutely. Today's topic is incredibly practical. We're going to share 100 essential phrases you can use to communicate effectively in a job meeting in English.
This is such a valuable lesson. Whether you're preparing for an interview, already working in an English-speaking environment, or just want to sound more professional, this episode is tailored for you.
Exactly. Job meetings can be nerve-wracking, especially when English isn't your first language. But don't worry, we'll give you the exact expressions you need to speak with confidence and professionalism.
And we'll also have a natural conversation about meetings, so you can hear how these phrases are used in context.
If you find this episode helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. It really supports us in creating more content for you.
Ready to become a meeting expert? Let's dive in.
Hey, Marco, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Erica, but I have to admit I'm a bit exhausted. I had 3 virtual meetings this morning for different projects.
3 calls? That's a lot.
Tell me about it. My brain feels completely full, but at least they were productive. How about you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was lovely. I finally relaxed. I watched a couple of movies and went for a long walk on Sunday.
That sounds so peaceful. What did you watch?
An old comedy. I needed something light and funny. Oh, and I also tidied up my desk because it was an absolute mess.
Good for you. I should do the same. My desk is buried under piles of papers.
It's amazing how quickly clutter builds up. So, what did you do over the weekend?
Actually, I spent a good part of it preparing for a major meeting on Monday, a project review with my team.
A meeting on Monday? That sounds intense.
It was important, yes. But I realized that I use the same set of phrases in almost every meeting. There are certain expressions that always work well.
Really? That's interesting.
Yes, and I thought this would be perfect for our listeners. So many people need to attend meetings in English for their jobs.
That's true. Speaking of meetings, I remember my very first job meeting in English. I was so nervous. I didn't know what to say.
See, that's exactly why we need to talk about this today.
I agree. Let's help everyone feel more at ease in their meetings.
So, Erica, imagine you have a meeting at work tomorrow. What's the first thing you need to consider?
Probably the exact purpose of the meeting. You need to know why you're gathering. Is it a team meeting, a project update, a brainstorming session, or a one-on-one with your boss? Each type is a little different.
Right, but there are certain phrases that work in almost any meeting. For instance, when you first join, what do you say?
A simple greeting like, "Good morning, everyone," or "Good afternoon, team," works well. Even just, "Hello, everyone," is fine.
And if you're joining online, like on Zoom?
Then you might say, "Hi, everyone, thanks for having me." Or if you're late, "Hello, sorry I'm a bit late."
I'm often late to meetings, more often than I'd like to admit.
Marco, you should work on that. But if the meeting has already started, what do you say?
You can say, "Sorry for being late," or "Apologies for the delay." If you want to be more formal, add, "Please continue."
That's polite. So after the greeting, what happens next?
Usually, someone kicks off the meeting. If you're the leader, you need a clear introduction. You might say, "Let's get started," or "Shall we begin?" Then you state the purpose. For example, "Today we're here to discuss the new project," or "The purpose of this meeting is to review our progress."
I like "shall we begin." It sounds very professional.
It does. Now imagine you're in the meeting and someone else is speaking. You want to add something. What do you do?
Just jump in?
No, that's rude. You need to interrupt politely. You could say, "Excuse me, may I add something?" Or, "Sorry to interrupt, but I have a question." Or, "If I may, I'd like to say something."
Those are good. And what if someone interrupts you?
Then you can say, "Please let me finish." Or, more politely, "If I could just finish my point."
That's useful. I've been in meetings where everyone talks at once. It gets chaotic.
Exactly. That's why these phrases help keep things organized. Now, let's talk about sharing your opinion.
Okay, so if I have an idea, how do I present it?
You can say, "In my opinion," "I think that," or "From my perspective." These show you're giving your view.
What's the difference?
They're quite similar, but "in my opinion" and "from my perspective" sound a bit more formal. "I think" is more casual, but still professional.
Got it. And if I want to sound less forceful?
Then you can use "I believe that" or "It seems to me that." They're softer. For example, instead of saying "this idea is wrong," you could say, "It seems to me that this approach might have some challenges."
Oh, that's much more diplomatic.
Exactly. Politeness is crucial in meetings. You don't want to offend anyone.
So if I agree with someone, what should I say?
You can say, "I agree with you. That's a great point," or "Exactly, I think so too." If you strongly agree, you can say, "I couldn't agree more."
I like that one. And what about disagreeing? That's trickier, right?
Yes, disagreeing politely is an art. You can't just say, "You're wrong." Instead, you might say, "I see your point, but I have a different view." Or, "That's interesting, however, I think," or, "I understand, but have you considered?"
So you acknowledge their idea first, then share yours.
Exactly. That's the key. Show respect before offering a different perspective.
What if I don't understand something?
Then you ask for clarification. You can say, "Could you explain that again?" Or, "I'm not sure I understand. Could you clarify?" Or, "What do you mean by that?"
Is it okay to admit I don't understand?
Absolutely. It's better to ask than to remain confused. You can also say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" Or, "Could you give an example?"
Good to know. I sometimes feel embarrassed to ask.
Don't be. Asking questions shows you're engaged and want to understand.
Okay, so now I understand everything. What if I want to make a suggestion?
You can say, "I suggest that we," or "How about we?" or "Why don't we?" For example, "I suggest that we start with the budget discussion," or "How about we schedule another meeting next week?"
And if it's just a tentative idea?
Then you can say, "Maybe we could," or "What if we?" These sound less definite and more open to discussion.
Tentative. That means not certain, right?
Yes, exactly. You're proposing something but open to other ideas.
So maybe we could meet on Friday is tentative.
Perfect. Now, what if someone asks you directly for your opinion, like, "Marco, what do you think?"
I'd say, well, I think, and then share my thought. You could also say, that's a good question, I believe, or let me think. I would say,
And if you don't have an opinion yet or need more information,
then you can say, I'm not sure yet. I need to think about it. Or, I don't have enough information to decide.
That's honest, and honesty is respected. It's better than making something up.
True. So we've covered opinions, suggestions, agreeing, and disagreeing. What about asking someone else for their thoughts?
Good point. You can say, "What do you think?" Or, "Do you have any thoughts on this?" Or, "How do you feel about this idea?" If you want to address a specific person, you say, "Sarah, what's your opinion?" Or, "John, do you have any input on this?"
Input. That means contribution or feedback, right?
Yes, exactly. It's what you add to the discussion.
Okay. Now, what if the meeting goes off topic? People start chatting about random things.
That happens a lot. You need to redirect the conversation. You can say, "Let's get back to the main topic." Or, "Can we focus on the agenda?" Or, "That's interesting, but let's return to our discussion about..."
The agenda. That's the plan for the meeting, the list of topics.
Right. If you're leading a meeting, you should always have an agenda. You can start by saying, "Here's our agenda for today," and then list the items. It keeps everyone focused.
Good tip. Now, let's talk about presenting information. Sometimes you need to share data or updates. How do you introduce that?
You can say, I'd like to share some information about, or let me update you on, or I have some data to present. If you're showing something on a screen, you might say, as you can see here, or this slide shows, or take a look at this chart.
And when you move to the next point?
You can say, moving on to the next point, or let's talk about, or now regarding.
What about summarizing at the end?
Summarizing is very important. You can say, to summarize, or in summary, or let me recap what we discussed.
Recap means to review the main points.
Yes, and if you want to check agreement before finishing, you can ask, does everyone agree? Or are we all on the same page? Or is everyone okay with this decision?
On the same page, that means everyone understands and agrees.
Exactly.
So now we need to end the meeting. How do you do that professionally?
You can say, I think that covers everything, or that's all for today, or thank you all for your time and input. If you need another meeting, you say, let's schedule a follow-up meeting, or can we meet again next week to discuss this further?
Follow-up means a second meeting to continue or check progress.
Right, and at the very end, you say goodbye. Thank you, everyone, or have a great day, or looking forward to our next meeting.
That's a lot of phrases.
I know, but don't worry. The more you hear them, the more natural they become.
What about some difficult situations, like if someone dominates the meeting and talks too much?
That's tricky. You can politely say, that's a great point. Let's hear from others as well. Or, thank you for sharing. Does anyone else have thoughts?
That's diplomatic, handling things with tact.
Yes, and if you need to leave early, you should mention it at the beginning. I apologize, but I have to leave at 3 for another commitment. Or, just to let you know, I'll need to step out at 2:30. When you leave, say, sorry, I have to go now. Thank you for the discussion. Or, apologies, I need to leave for my next meeting.
Polite. What about taking notes?
You can say, let me note that down. Or, I'll make a note of that.
And if you're assigned an action item, something you need to do after the meeting?
You can confirm by saying, just to clarify, you want me to, or, so I'll be responsible for this. That shows you understand your task.
Action items are the tasks people need to complete.
Right. At the end, it's good to review them. Let's review our action items and list who is doing what.
That prevents confusion later.
Exactly. Clear communication avoids misunderstandings.
What about asking for feedback on your own ideas?
You can say, what do you think about this approach? Or, I'd love to hear your feedback on this. Or, does this make sense to everyone?
And if you want to give positive feedback to someone else?
That's an excellent idea. I really like your suggestion, or great thinking.
Those sound professional but friendly.
That's the goal. Professional doesn't mean cold. You can be warm and professional at the same time.
I feel much more confident about meetings now.
Good. Remember, the key is to be polite, clear, and respectful.
You know, Marco, while we were talking, we used many useful words and phrases. Let's break down some of the most important ones so our listeners can really understand and remember them.
Great idea. Some words might be new for people.
First word, purpose. Purpose means the reason for something or the goal. So when we ask, what's the purpose of this meeting? We're asking why we're having it.
For example, the purpose of our meeting today is to discuss the budget. Or, my purpose for calling you is to ask for your help.
I use this word a lot. Another example, what's the purpose of this exercise when I'm at the gym?
Good example. Now, what's your purpose for learning English, Erica?
My purpose is to communicate better with people from different countries.
Perfect. Second word, interrupt. This means to stop someone while they are speaking or doing something, like when someone is talking and you start talking at the same time.
For example, sorry to interrupt, but I have a question. Or please don't interrupt me while I'm speaking.
Sometimes my phone interrupts me during important work.
That's a good use. You can interrupt a person, or something can interrupt an activity.
Third word, perspective. This means a way of thinking about something, your point of view. So, from my perspective means the way I see it.
For instance, from a business perspective, this decision makes sense. Or let's look at this from a different perspective.
My perspective on meetings has changed after today's conversation. I used to think they were boring, but now I see they're important.
That's great, Marco. See, your perspective changed. Can I use this word for physical viewing? Like, from this perspective, the mountain looks big.
You can, though angle is more common for physical views. Perspective is usually for opinions and ways of thinking.
Fourth word, clarification. This is when you make something clear or easier to understand. So when I ask, could you clarify that? I'm asking for a clearer explanation.
Yes. For example, I need some clarification on this point. Or, let me clarify what I meant.
This is important because sometimes people use complicated words and I need clarification.
That's perfectly normal. The verb is clarify, and the noun is clarification.
Got it. Fifth word, tentative. This means not certain, uncertain, or hesitant. You explained this earlier. It's when you're not completely sure.
Yes. For example, we made a tentative plan to meet on Friday, meaning the plan might change. Or, I have a tentative idea, but I'm still thinking about it.
What's your tentative plan for dinner tonight, Marco?
Well, I'm tentatively planning to cook pasta, but I might order food if I'm too tired.
See, you're using it naturally.
Sixth word, agenda. This is the list of topics or items to discuss in a meeting. It's like a plan or schedule.
For example, let's review the agenda, or this topic is not on today's agenda.
If I organize a meeting, I should prepare an agenda first and share it beforehand if possible. I'll send you the agenda by email.
Does agenda only work for meetings?
It can be used for events too, like the conference agenda includes 5 speakers, but it's most common for meetings.
Seventh word, input. This means information, ideas, or opinions that you contribute. So when someone asks for my input, they want my ideas or feedback.
Exactly. For example, we value your input on this project, or do you have any input on this design? Thank you for your input is a polite way to acknowledge someone's contribution.
What kind of input do you usually give in meetings, Marco?
I usually give input on creative ideas or design choices. That's my area of expertise.
Perfect. Eighth word, recap. This means to summarize or review the main points, a short summary.
Yes. For example, let me recap what we discussed today. Or can you give us a quick recap?
I think recap is short for recapitulation, right?
Yes, but recap is much more common and easier to say. At the end of meetings, someone usually recaps the action items.
Ninth word, diplomatic. This means tactful, polite, and careful with words, especially in difficult situations. A diplomatic person knows how to handle sensitive topics without offending anyone.
For example, she gave diplomatic feedback. She was honest but polite. Or that was a diplomatic way to disagree.
I think being diplomatic is really important in professional settings.
Absolutely. What's a diplomatic way to tell someone their idea won't work?
You could say, that's interesting, but I'm concerned about the timeline, instead of that will never work.
Excellent, Erica. Very diplomatic.
10th word, follow-up. This can be a noun or a verb. It means to continue with something or to tack on progress.
Like, let's have a follow-up meeting, a second meeting to continue the discussion. Or as a verb, I'll follow up with you next week. I'll contact you to check on this.
Can you follow up on that email? Can you check if they replied?
Exactly. For example, I need to follow up on 3 projects this week. This is very common in work situations.
Let's quickly recap our vocabulary. Purpose, reason or goal. Interrupt, stop someone while speaking. Perspective, point of view. Clarification, making something clear. Tentative, not certain. Agenda, meeting plan. Input, contribution or ideas. Recap, summarize. Diplomatic, tactful and polite. Follow-up, continue or check progress.
Those are all super useful words for meetings and professional situations.
Okay, Marco, that was a lot of talking about meetings.
I know, but meetings are such an important part of work life, so there's a lot to cover.
I feel like I learned 100 phrases.
Well, the title does say 100 phrases. Let's think about what we covered.
First, we talked about starting a meeting. We use greetings like, "Good morning, everyone," or "Hello, team." If you're leading, you say, "Let's get started," or "Shall we begin?" and then explain the purpose. Today we're here to discuss.
And if you're late, you say, "Sorry for being late," or "Apologies for the delay."
Then we covered participating. To interrupt politely, you say,
excuse me, may I add something? Or, sorry to interrupt, but to share your opinion, use in my opinion. I think that. Or, from my perspective.
We also learned how to agree and disagree. To agree, I agree. That's a great point. Exactly. To disagree politely, I see your point, but, or that's interesting, however.
Good memory. Then we covered asking questions and clarifying. Could you explain that again? I'm not sure I understand. What do you mean by that?
And making suggestions. I suggest that how about why don't we, for tentative ideas, maybe we could, or what if we?
We also talked about asking for opinions. What do you think? Do you have any thoughts on this? And redirecting the conversation. Let's get back to the main topic. Can we focus on the agenda?
Then there's presenting information I'd like to share. Let me update you on. And moving between topics. Moving on to the next point. Now regarding.
At the end, you summarize. To summarize, let me recap and check agreement. Does everyone agree? Are we all on the same page?
Finally, you close with, "Thank you all for your time. Looking forward to our next meeting." And don't forget action items and follow-up meetings.
The key is to be polite, clear, and respectful. Meetings don't have to be scary. With these phrases, you can sound professional and confident.
I think anyone can do this with a little practice. Start with a few phrases and gradually add more as you become comfortable.
Now we want to hear from you. This is our favorite part.
Yes, we love reading your comments and learning about your experiences.
Our question of the day is, what is the most challenging part of attending meetings in English for you? And do you have any tips for other learners?
For me, the most challenging part is when people speak too fast. Sometimes I can't follow the conversation, and I'm afraid to ask them to slow down.
That's a good answer, Marco. My challenging part is disagreeing politely. I always worry about sounding rude, so I think very carefully about my words.
See, we have different challenges, and that's okay. Everyone has different struggles.
Exactly. So listeners, we want to know about you. What's hard for you? Is it understanding accents? Thinking of the right words quickly? Speaking up when you have an idea? Or something else?
And if you have tips that help you, please share them. Maybe you practice before meetings, or you write down key phrases, or you ask a colleague to help you. Your experiences can help other learners in the same situation.
Please tell us in the comments. Write, the most challenging part for me is, and then add your tip if you have one. For example, you could write, the most challenging part for me is understanding fast speakers. My tip is to ask them politely to repeat.
Or, the most challenging part for me is remembering vocabulary. My tip is to make a list of phrases before the meeting.
Yes, exactly like that. It helps us make better videos and helps you practice writing in English. So don't be shy. We want to hear from you.
We read every comment, and we really appreciate when you share your thoughts.
Thank you so much for watching this lesson today. We hope you learned some useful phrases for your next meeting.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button and the little bell notification. That way, you won't miss our new videos.
We post new lessons regularly to help you improve your English. You are all doing great work by learning English. It takes time and effort, but you're making progress every day.
Keep practicing. Remember, confidence comes from practice, not perfection. Don't wait until your English is perfect to speak in meetings. Use what you know, and you'll get better.
Exactly. Start using these phrases in your next meeting, and you'll see how much more confident you feel.
Have a wonderful day, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. Keep learning, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next lesson.
Goodbye.